Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Roth edition. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, SFuels, right fuel, right time, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We have been around 30 years now, have raised $178 million, sent over 48,000 grants to keep challenged athletes in the game of life through sport. Our next guest, I couldn't be more excited. Professional hockey player, talking Stanley Cup champion, his fastest shot when he won the fastest shot competition, 108.8.
Yep.
Oh my God, Zee Chara joins us, the big Z.
Yeah.
How are you?
No, I'm great, Bob. Thank you so much, and this is such an honor to be on sitting here in the Roth with you. It's absolutely privileged.
Oh, God, it's mutual, man. This is so cool. 24 seasons in the NHL, 1997 to 2022. The tallest player in the history of NHL.
Yep.
6'9"?
Yeah, 6'9", the tallest.
Wow. So I guess growing up, people were saying, you're too tall. You play basketball.
Yeah, that's what I was facing, like pretty much the whole youth.
Discrimination.
Not really, but they were right. Like because of my height, they all suggested I should play basketball. But
right.
I wanted to really play hockey.
Yes.
I really want to prove it that it's possible, even with the height. There's no limits. So
right.
I chose hockey.
And right away, were you a dominant player?
No. I had to go through some rough, stages that
yes.
Was kind of hard and overcome some challenges.
Right.
But I'm grateful for those because that's when you learn the most about yourself and how to overcome the next ones. And so I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that it worked out.
They always say you win or you learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you've played with a number of teams, but I think people associate you obviously with the Bruins.
Yeah, the most I played with Bruins, 15 years.
15 years with them.
Yeah.
And how many years were you captain?
All 15
All
of them.
15
All
years
15 of them, yeah.
you were captain of the team.
Yeah.
And I just like every year you got better and better. Norris Trophy, 2009, 11, 13, and 19. And you captained the Bruins to the Stanley Cup Finals, what, 3 times?
3 times,
Three
yeah.
times, but then in 2010, 11.
11.
That was your. What made that year so special? What clicked with the team?
I think that we had such a good team for about 3-4 years, and we faced some really disappointment previous year. We're losing to Philadelphia Flyers, and I think that really made us hungry to come next year and be ready and really pull it together and go all the way. And then we had such a strong team, dominant team, great character guys, and we play really well as a team.
The thing to me is when I watch the Stanley Cup Finals, one team one time wins and gets to skate around the cup and everything. The other team is like, yeah, shake your hand and see you later.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so finite. It's winning and losing is one thing, but it's almost, to me, it'd almost be better to get eliminated first round rather than you go to the final, you get that far, and then you got to live with the last game of the year. Those guys are winning the cup, and we're coming away with nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You either win it all or you have nothing. It's just a very, very disappointing when you lose, and very, very rewarding when you win. So exactly like you said, you're playing only for one thing, and that's the Stanley Cup. Nothing. There's no second places.
And you're talking 24 years, and you get one Stanley Cup.
One Stanley Cup. But, I'm very grateful that I got one.
Exactly. A lot of players get. You never get.
Never get one.
And what did you do with the cup when you had your opportunity?
I brought it back to Slovakia.
Yes.
You know, obviously shared the celebration with my friends, family, closest people I had. I had really blast for 2-3 days with it, so it was awesome.
And the family must have just gone crazy.
They loved it. Yeah, all my friends too. Like we had some really, really good parties.
So when did you know it was time? Because every player, you're retiring so young. As an athlete, and that's your career, and then you got to move on to something else. When did you know it was time?
Well, I think that like your body is telling you, like it's time. It's you see your performance is kind of declining, and even you have the desire, passion, heart for it. You gotta realize, you gotta have self-check, realization that okay, it's about time. And also, my kids were getting older.
Right.
I wanted to spend more time with them. So all that combination together, I decided that it was just the right timing for me.
And you speak what, 7 languages?
I used to. I get by, but people kind of adding more and more languages. But I was very lucky because growing up, we had to speak Russian. We had to start learning German, English. I play a little bit in Sweden, so learn Swedish a little bit. So, and Slavic languages are very similar.
Yes.
So you can get by with a lot of it like similar words.
So when you win a Stanley Cup in a city like Boston that hadn't won one since '72, I'm guessing you can pretty much go wherever you want in the city of Boston. They still remember you?
They still remember the championship team.
Yes, yes.
They're very, very thankful and grateful, and so are we as the players, as
of
a
course.
team. It's just something that we will never forget. We're always gonna share together, the championship, and we still have group chat from 2011.
Do you really?
Yeah, and we're still connected. So yeah.
So 6-time All-Star, all-decade team from 2000 to 2009 and from 2010 to 2019. Again, 108.8 fastest shot ever. Most Game 7s appearances in NHL history.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, because Game 7, there's no better two words than Game 7.
Yeah, everything on the line, and I was very fortunate, very privileged that I was in those situations. It's a privilege. Those precious situations, those
Right.
are the ones that you learn the most and you have the most experience from. So yeah, it's been great.
And then the thing that got me is the transition. Well, first of all, I look at the stats and I'm going, how many years you have to be retired before Hall of Fame? I mean, that's got to be coming. Is it 5 years?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
maybe-
You don't even want to talk about it.
yeah, I kind of let it be.
Let
yeah,
them make
let
those
them figure
decisions.
out. But yeah,
Yes. You're the oldest defenseman in the NHL history to score a goal in Stanley Cup Finals.
yeah,
That's cool.
that's what happens when you play that long.
So when you retired and made the transition to endurance athlete, was it pretty seamless? It was like, because sounds like you always enjoyed running, and it was like, okay, I need a new goal, and I'm going to go run a marathon, half marathon. How did it start?
Well, I think it all started because of the triathlons. I was training for triathlons.
You were training for that.
but-
Was that with Dave
but-
McGilvery? Did he get you into
Well,
this?
yeah, I got to know Dave a little bit later, but I got to know Becca Peasy and her friends from
Yes.
Belmont Track team, and
Yes.
and they kind of convinced me that you can do it. Let's do Boston Marathon,
Yeah.
and it's so iconic and it's in hometown.
yes, and your turf.
So that's why I kind of started with, and then I just stick with it. It was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it, and then I always enjoyed the conditioning stuff,
Right.
for preparation for hockey. So this kind of made it kind of more exciting for me. It's a little something different.
Right.
It's a great community.
And
meeting a lot
you're
of-
running for a cause.
yeah,
It makes a difference.
Exactly. Raising good cause and meeting new people, and
Yes.
it's very, very humbling.
At first marathon, 3:38.
Yeah,
3:38 Boston.
Yep.
And usually people run first marathon 3:38, and maybe they'll go 3:36. I mean, now you're down to 3:09.
309, yeah.
3:09.
3:09,
And how
yeah.
many? 9 marathons.
9 marathons, yeah.
And which Ironmans? Or have you done 70.3s?
I did 470.3. So Sunday this is gonna be my first full.
First full.
Full, yeah. So
Now, did you have swim background, cycling background?
I have cycling background. Like I
Training.
said, for training, but
Yes.
swimming was kind of like I knew how to swim, but
Yeah, that's
so
different gig.
It's a different animal. So I spent a lot of time swimming and practicing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not putting any limits on
Right.
or putting some kind of goals or
Yes.
as of times, but I'm trying to obviously do well and
Yes.
then be comfortable and be strong throughout the whole race.
Finding a bicycle that fits. A couple years ago, we had a guy, Seb Bellin, who was a basketball player, 6'9" basketball player
Yeah.
from Belgium.
Yep.
Finding him a bike to do Kona on was a trick.
Yeah, it was a little tricky, but because of the cycling background, I knew a little bit about the bikes,
Okay.
and Trek was very kind of a good fitting for me. So
Perfect.
I contacted some people that I knew, and then they were very, very helpful to
Build you a
build
really
me a good bike. Yeah.
Really, who used to be a big part of our foundation was Bill Walton.
Okay,
And getting
yeah.
he had to get
Yeah,
his bikes
yeah,
custom.
Bill, yeah.
Gigantic.
Yeah.
The training, obviously you're a guy who you're into the training, right? You're a committed guy, and the swimming is coming. Cycling, you got the background. Running, you're already running 309 marathons. So the was there any surprises when you did your first 70? Which 70.3 did you do first?
The very first one was in Poland, Dynia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was last year in I believe it was August,
Yeah,
July. Any surprises? Yeah, I mean, I think you can learn in every race something. There's never really, something that goes perfectly smooth.
Right.
You're always gonna have some sort of like, especially for me, like, being so fresh and new, I'm always try to watch others, other athletes and listen and try to learn as much as I can.
You're a guy who is a sponge. You're going to learn from everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be very humble and just down to earth. And
it's like, hey, if we were on the ice right now, maybe I'd have an advantage.
It's a different story.
We're in the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your turf.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what were your learnings from that first
You just got to be patient. You just got to be, very mindful of the discipline, the swim and transitions and nutrition. And I think everything is kind of like takes time.
Right.
You don't have to rush it. You don't have to be thinking about like times or beating times. You just got to kind of learn as you go, and most importantly, just do your own race.
Right.
Don't try to
get carried away with people going by.
Don't get carried away with other people going too fast or too slow. You just, at the end, you want to have good feeling. You want to finish strong. You want to be comfortable, and you want to be excited to do next one.
It's funny. Years ago, we had a Pittsburgh Steelers player, MVP of the Super Bowl, named Hines Ward. Mm-hmm. And after he started training for Ironman, it was like a couple weeks. He's like, I think I could win. Like win overall. Yeah. That's sort of the mentality of a professional athlete is, okay, I'm coachable. You show me what, and now I'm going to go win.
Yeah.
You seem like a guy who understands. I'm just out here to let's have some fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm competitive as well.
Of course you are.
But I think the biggest competition is me myself.
Exactly.
I don't think that you should be going out there and just thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be, racing others or age group or whatever it is. I think you gotta be very mindful of, like I said, like where you at, what you try to accomplish, and how you want to do it. And like I said, the most important thing is to finish strong and feeling good about like yourself and moving forward. So
you've done 4 now, 70.3s?
Yeah.
And now this becomes an eating and drinking contest, the full.
Yeah.
And the weather we're dealing with it's cold, it's warm, it's usually race day is beautiful, so you'll be fine with that. Because you're so tall, you're going to find that a lot of people are going to find you because you're a nice big wind block. Yeah. You're going to have a little train of people behind you. Yeah. You're going to look back and go, who's those minions back here? What's going on?
Yeah, well, I bet that it's probably more comfortable behind me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to have my head down and focus on myself, not whoever is kind of trying to be behind me. So
what do your kids and your wife think of this?
Yeah, I mean they know that I'm very kind of like a person
gotta be doing something.
Gotta be doing something. So very supportive. They asking me a lot of questions, and I mean it's been very good. That way that they
are the whole family
very
here?
understanding. No,
they're home. Yeah. And eventually your kids are going to get into the little triathlon. So you got twins,
Maybe.
right?
I have twins, Ben and Zach, and daughter Elise, and so it's.
This, I think you will find the people in this sport, and you found it in running already, are just the best.
Yeah.
They're just down to earth. They just love, because we're all competing with ourselves. It's not competitive that way, where you're competing with anybody else. That's what makes our sport so special. Yeah. That is so cool, man. Well, what a treat to have you in the sport. And now, who's coaching you?
Well, I have a lot of help. Like, back in United States, I'm spending a lot of time with Becca Easy and her team and her friends. And, so I can say shout out to Caroline, Lisa, Shannon, Scott, Sean, Donald, Doug. and here I have friends actually who are competing as well, and Robert, Michael, and Lubosh. So there's 4 of us who came to Roth. Only 2 of us going to be competing, but they've been very, very helpful. Giving me a lot of insights and tips and all that stuff.
You are going to fall in love with Solar Hill when you come up that.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about it.
60,000 spectators. It's crazy. Actually, one of my favorite parts is when they have a beer mile during the run.
They do,
There's basically a mile with picnic benches where you run in between, and there's drunk people on both sides.
Really?
Yeah. And then you finish the stadium right here. That wasn't 2 weeks ago. That was grass.
Oh, okay.
And they built a 10,000 person stadium that you will finish in on Sunday.
That's gonna be epic.
That is so cool. And then in October you're doing Kona.
Yeah. That's the plan. Yeah.
Now, did you do? I thought I read somewhere you did a marathon, and then the following weekend you did another one.
Yeah, I've done it I think twice or three times.
Yes.
So I did kind of like back-to-back weekends, which was very challenging. But I wanted to kind of, again, find out where I would be after, first marathon,
Right.
how I'm going to be, 6-7 days later.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's been okay.
Any injury issues, or you've been good?
Yeah, so far I've been pretty
You're
pretty
doing
good.
the right
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying. But trust me, there's always some aches.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
How many operations during your hockey career?
10.
10?
10, yeah.
Oh, my God. Were there ones where you felt like, okay, that's it, I'm done?
No, I was
were
again
all
like
end the season cleanup type of things?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky that my lower body, like my knees, ankles, and hips, were not surgically repaired.
That's great.
But yeah, so most of it was upper body and
Yes.
yeah, so
Which allows you to get into endurance.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's so awesome to have you in the world
thank
of
you.
endurance sports. It's such a treat. Thank you for taking time to chat with us.
Thank you, Bob. It's been a pleasure and honor.
Zee Chara has been our guest. That's a wrap for day 2 of Breakfast with Bob Challenge Roth Edition. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and check us out tomorrow, a full day. I think we got like 12, 13 interviews tomorrow, and we're at the HOKA booth. Come on by. We're up on the 2nd floor. You can come on and visit and hang out with us. Until then, see ya.